Hi guys, welcome back to my Instagram English lessons. I know I've been gone for a week, but I'm back, and today we're going to go back to pronunciation. So last week we talked a little bit about grammar. Today we're going to go back to pronunciation. So we've so far covered mostly vowels. We've done the T sound, we've done numbers, and today we're going to talk about the past tense. Because the past tense in American English actually has 3 different pronunciations. So when I talk about past tense, I'm talking about the simple past tense as well as the past participles. Usually they end in ed for regular verbs, right? Irregular verbs have their own unique forms, but regular verbs normally end in ed for the past tense. So today we're going to talk about those 3 different pronunciations for the ed ending. Okay? So as per usual, I have my little visual here for you. So again, pronunciation of the past tense endings, ed, or adjectives. Sometimes some adjectives also end in ed. So words that end in ed most of the time are past tense or adjectives. Okay, so there's 3 ways of pronunciation. Let's talk about those 3 different pronunciations before we give examples. So the first one is id. Okay, with this one we add an extra syllable, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment. We also have the t ending and the d ending. So again, id, t, and d. Now let's talk about some examples. So for the first one, if the base verb ends in t or d, the past tense ending is going to be id. Okay, so what does the base verb mean? It means the verb without its changing, without its conjugation, the unconjugated verb. So that's what we call the base verb. So for example, we have want, right? To want something. This verb ends with a t sound, right? Want. So therefore, we're going to add id when we talk about the past tense. So this becomes wanted. So again, with this particular sound, we add an extra syllable because when we see a vowel sound, that means then it's a new syllable. So this has its own vowel sound, so we have an additional syllable. So want has 1 syllable, but in the past tense we say wanted, 2 syllables. Okay? Another example is end. That's the base form of the verb. In the past tense, again, ending with d, t, or d. So we end with id. So the past tense becomes ended. Ended. Again, a second syllable is added, an additional syllable. So we have end, ended. Okay? So the rules to remember for id is if the base form of the verb ends in t or d, we use the id ending for past tense, which means an extra syllable. Okay? Rule number 2. If the base verb ends in an unvoiced sound. So we talked about voiced and unvoiced in one of the previous lessons. We did the vocal cord test. Remember, if you put your hand on your throat, if it is a voiced sound, you will hear vibrations, okay? If it is an unvoiced sound, you will not hear vibrations. So again, some examples of unvoiced sounds are p, f, s, t, k. Okay, so when we make p, t, k, those don't use our vocal cords. The vocal cords don't vibrate, it's just air. So those are unvoiced. So let's look at this example. Hope. Hope. P ends with a p, unvoiced sound. So we are going to end with the unvoiced t, t, t ending. So in the past, hope becomes hoped. Hoped. Okay? Laugh. Laugh. F, f, unvoiced there. Ending is unvoiced. So, laughed. Continuing with the unvoiced. That happens a lot. we like to be comfortable and use our mouth in the least possible movement way, basically. So sounds surrounding each other will be produced in the same way. If we have a voiceless sound, we want to continue to produce a voiceless sound. This is the case here. This is a voiceless ending. So we're going to have a voiceless ending for past tense as well. Hope, hoped. Laugh, laughed. Okay? Another example. Fax. S, s, s. Unvoiced. So in the past, it's faxed. Faxed. I faxed her the information. Another example. Wash. Wash. Sh. No voice. Unvoiced sound there. Washed. Washed. Okay, a couple more examples. Watch. Watch. Ch is also unvoiced. No vibrations in the vocal cords. So, watched. Watched. Like. K. Unvoiced. Liked. Okay, so voiceless endings continue to be voiceless with the past tense ending. And the last rule. If the base verb ends in a voiced sound, like n, like l, like g, like b, okay? When we make those sounds, b versus p, p, b, we have a vibration in our vocal cords for b. Same thing with z, z, right? S, s, that's voiceless, but z is voiced, okay? So let's take a look at some examples. Remember that vowels are also voiced. So the first example I have here is play. Play ends with a, which is a voiced sound because it's a vowel, okay? Do not look at the spelling. I always remind you every time, but I'm going to continue to do so because it's only natural to look at the word and to see how it looks. But in pronunciation, we don't want to focus on that. We want to focus on how a word sounds, not how it looks. So this is a vowel sound ending. Don't worry about the fact that it ends with a letter Y. So it's a voice ending for the base form of the verb. Continues to be voiced in the past tense ending. So it's going to be played. D. So t is voiceless, but d is voiced. Allow, allow, okay? W, voiced. So continuing with voiced, allowed. Beg, g, okay? We know that k is voiceless, but g is voiced. They're counterparts. So beg becomes begged. Call, l, voiced. Called, continued voiced. Love, v is voiced. F is unvoiced, but v is voiced. So love is loved. Use. Again, don't think about spelling because if you look at the spelling, it's an S. But when we say the word, we don't say use unless, well, we can, but that's not the verb. The verb is use, to use something. With the verb, we pronounce that letter as a z sound. So z is voiced, and in the past, it is continuing to be voiced, used. So again, id, t, d. Extra syllable, voiceless continues voiceless, voiced continues voiced. Okay, so there you have it, your examples about pronunciation of the past tense ending, usually ending in ed. 3 rules. Thank you for watching as always. Let me know if you have any additional questions. Please comment below if you enjoyed or some things are still unclear, or if you have any other ideas for lessons. See you next time.